Cruz, it's finished.
May I see it?
Of course.
It's beautiful. Steve! Vance!
Hey,
You left me!
I was attending to the guests.
But you're not supposed to leave me. We have a review to do.
Well, they came here to see me, so...
Okay, well, you ready to talk about this movie?
I'm ready to talk about this movie. I'm excited to talk about this movie.
Okay, let's talk about how we felt after watching Mother.
Okay, so for me, this was the most infuriating movie I've ever seen in my life. I left this movie... Remember, I was just to go out after seeing this movie?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I came home and fell asleep. I was so stressed out and just so overwhelmed and infuriated that I needed to sleep.
So it just put you to sleep.
It put me... I wouldn't say it put me to sleep, and that's just...
Well, yeah.
Yes, but yes, it stressed me out.
For me, I was fine, right? I was like, okay, I knew that it was intense. You were sitting next to me. You saw it, and I kept my mouth shut the whole time. And then something happened. We're not going to say what. Something happened in the film where I literally just spun around to you, and I was like, I want to fucking punch somebody.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then after that point, when I said that to you, I just kept getting more and more stressed out in my chair. I was like, what's going on here? Oh my God. And then when I left the theater, I had this like really strange feeling of being really high. Like my heart was racing and like palpitating, and I was like, why do I feel like I'm high right now? Like I felt...
You get adrenaline.
Yeah, I felt seriously high. Very, very intense.
Yeah. No, and so what'd you think of it?
Oh, I loved it.
I fucking loved it.
I loved it. Despite,
it was so good.
Despite all the negativity surrounding this film.
Listen, that's white. It's noise. That's all noise. You know, I'm going to go see a movie no matter what. And I am a huge fan of this director. I'm a huge fan of Darren Aronofsky.
Yeah, as am I.
You know, like The Wrestler is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I love Black Swan.
Requiem, Black Swan.
Yeah, Requiem, Black
They're
Swan.
amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
But all those other films weren't big hits either.
No.
Yeah, like they all bombed. The Wrestler, Black Swan.
Black Swan did not do amazing at the box office
until
it got picked up for award season.
And this is what's funny about Black Swan. A lot of people called it pretentious. You know, like, oh, Black Swan is such a pretentious film. And then with Mother coming out, I'm seeing a lot of reviews saying similar stuff where they're like, Mother is just another pretentious da-da-da-da-da. And the thing is, what I like, and I know you can agree with me on this one, is that despite negative reviews, I like to go to a movie and see it for myself. A lot of people are they're sheep. You know, they're like, oh well, I heard it sucked, and then they go and see it, and they feel the need to have to agree with that. You know,
right? Well, this movie has a 68% on Rotten Tomatoes. It got an F Cinema score,
which is very rare.
3.5 out of 4 from Ebert. You know, which is a much more prestigious rating system than fucking, Cinema Score.
Right. Cinema Score, there's only 19, it's a very rare score for...
the F rating.
Yeah, the F rating is a very rare score to get, and there's only 19
Cinema Score is doing backflips with all the press they're getting for giving it this F rating.
Yeah, because everybody keeps talking about it now, because it's very rare for a film to get that. I mean, the only movie, they said that there's 19 films that ever have received an F score.
Okay.
And the only ones
How many of those are Lindsay Lohan movies?
Oh, there's definitely a Lindsay Lohan movie. I Know Who Killed Me is on there.
Oh, okay, see.
Wolf Creek is on there. There's a bunch of others. That's the only one that I can think of off the top of my head. It's like a horror film. An Australian horror film, I think.
But anyways, back to Mother.
Let's talk about our theories behind it, because here's the thing that I'm noticing from reading other reviews, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people, especially the ones that are giving it negative reviews,
right.
A lot of them don't know what it's about, and that's the reason why they're giving it such a negative review. Because they're like, I don't get it, I don't understand.
The marketing on this movie didn't tell you anything, which I love. I went in there completely blind. I saw 2 trailers. I didn't want to read anything about it.
Same here.
I just wanted to go straight in and see this movie.
Yeah.
You know, and with a lot of people, they're going into this movie thinking it's Rosemary's Baby.
See,
it's like this weird.
That's what the thing that annoys me, because I've read more than 3 different places on the internet, right? This is obviously after I had already seen the film.
Right.
There was like 3 different reviews that I read where each reviewer was comparing it to Rosemary's Baby. Now, here's the thing that pisses me off about that statement. Either the people that are saying that, they either have never really seen Rosemary's Baby.
Right.
Like, did you not see that movie for you to make that comparison? Or are you pretending like you saw Mother?
There's no commonality.
There's no commonality whatsoever else.
There's a baby.
And that's about it. But that is nothing. What Rosemary's Baby is about is nothing with what this film is about. No. So what do you think this movie is about, Steven?
This whole thing is a metaphor for the Bible. I mean, you can't get any more on the nose than when you have 2 sons killing each other, okay? You have a great flood that sends everyone out of the house. There's so many examples. You know, Jennifer Lawrence is Gaia, you know, Mother Earth.
Okay.
And Javier Bardem is God, and the whole it's so on the nose, especially when you see like the Great Flood and the 2 sons killing each other, played by the Gleason brothers.
And they're actually brothers.
And they are actual brothers.
That's kind of funny. So you're trying to tell me that
it's the Bible.
Jennifer Lawrence is Mother Earth,
right?
And that Javier is God. And so are you trying to tell me that Michelle Pfeiffer and Ed Harris are what? Adam and Eve?
Adam and Eve. In fact, when he's clutching Ed Harris's character, when he's like, oh, don't look away, you see a scar on his ribs. And then the next day, Eve shows up.
Oh, wait, that's right, because in
the next day, Michelle Pfeiffer shows up. And Javier, God, creates Adam out of boredom, basically, because he can't write, he needs inspiration, and so he manifests Adam.
Go on.
What more do you need?
I don't know.
And then the whole end of the movie is revelation.
Darren Aronofsky actually made an official director's statement before the film even came out and said that there is no metaphor to this film.
Well, it follows the same, you know...
It's more ambiguous.
...timeline of the Bible and structure of the Bible.
It's just a structure, not the story, though, is what he was saying. He said that, yeah, sure, there's a structure to it. That's basically it. That's not the story, though. But, I mean, I can see where you're coming from. It kind of makes sense.
It has the exact structure of the Bible. Are you serious?
I went to a Christian school my whole life. Sorry, I'm just laughing.
I like girls in Catholic schoolgirl uniforms. I mean, there's a baby involved. That's Jesus that gets sacrificed. Hello, my name is Jesus. That's what I should have just said.
Okay, see, now that, all the other stuff kind of make, okay, Jesus. But wouldn't that make, okay, if the baby is Jesus, wouldn't that make Mother Earth Mary? The Virgin Mary, technically?
Well, I mean, technically, Mary was a human, and everyone else is, you know, from an existential place, right? Like heaven and the Garden of Eden, and Mary's the only real human there, so humans
Where's the Garden of
represent
Eden in
Earth.
all of this? Where's the Garden of Eden in all of this?
Garden of Eden is in heaven.
No, in the movie.
The house. She's trying to rebuild. Listen, okay, put it this way. Garden of Eden is his office.
Okay, all right.
And so you have the little diamond thing that he gets every time he fucks up and creates sin in the world, so it's a representation of like an original sin, and then Adam...
Wait a minute, okay, now you're losing me. You're saying that the crystal, which is technically the heart...
That he pulls out of every single world that he destroys.
If you're listening or watching this right now...
By the way, there's spoilers.
You clearly know that there's spoilers. So you're trying to tell me that the crystal, the heart, if you will, is supposed to be... representation of what now?
It's a representation of when Eve goes into his office where she's not supposed to be, like Eve went into the Garden of Eden and ate the forbidden fruit that she was never supposed to touch, and then breaks the forbidden fruit. That's when all the shit goes crazy. That's when sin comes into the world.
So then explain to me why all of a sudden at the end, like the ending, for example.
I'm not a Bible expert, but I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Oh, it's pretty obvious. Okay. Okay. So
Am
when,
I the...
But okay, so is there any story in the Bible about how so sin came into this world, and so now God is just going to start all over? Okay, clean slate. Let's just wipe away everything
No,
clean.
sin comes into the world. The humans come. They destroy the earth, and then God has to start all over.
And God, what to start over?
He has to start all over because they destroyed the earth.
Ah.
Anyway, so what do you think the movie was about? And if you say fucking broken relationships or something.
I think it was about narcissism and envy. Look at Javier. He's narcissistic.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a part of it, but I mean, the actual story, like the story itself was the Bible. You know, and God was greedy. Or you know, and Mother Earth was very envious of God.
Which brings us to this week's deadly sin, envy.
Look at that. Popped up.
Yeah. So, yeah, because if you think about it in the film, you know, you have Jennifer Lawrence, who's,
right.
you know, the little housewife who's trying to take care of everything for her man.
Right.
And then when all of a sudden all these people came to see him, she started growing envious of, like, for the attention that everybody...
Right,
like,
the attention.
He was giving everybody else attention and wouldn't listen to her when she was like, this is supposed to be our home. This is our place. Like, why are you allowing all these people that we don't know into our home?
Right.
And then he just didn't give a shit about how she felt.
It wasn't that he didn't give a shit. It was that the reason he created her even was to get this acclaim.
Okay, we're still getting into this whole creation thing. Okay,
well, because here's the thing. She was his muse. That's why he made her.
Oh, right.
He made her to be his muse.
I guess when they finally did have sex, he was inspired, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That was his muse. And the reason he brought her into his world was because he needed inspiration.
Right.
Okay?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So once he got that inspiration, he was like, okay, this is what I needed. I'm there now. And she was like, well, wait a minute. Like, hello, I'm still here. You know? Like when she made that big dinner and like 50 people show up to get autographs and
Oh
stuff.
my
He's
God.
like, I'll be right in.
Yeah.
I'll be right in. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it. I'll be right in.
Who the hell is here now?
Oh.
No.
They're here to see me. They're here to see me.
Nope. We're gonna finish this review. You're driving me nuts. No, let's finish this review. You're not gonna answer that. It's fine.
But where are they going to go?
Did you invite more people over?
Yeah.
So, Steve, are you telling me that God is a narcissist?
Wow. I thought we were just going to do funny things with video games and horror movies. I didn't know we were going to get into a transcendental conversation about God and narcissism.
Well, you were telling me how it's about the Bible and
All right,
creation.
listen.
So I'm asking you...
Obviously, God's a narcissist. I mean, he did all this creating, and he even said, like, this is what I do. I create. I don't know why he became an Italian mafia boss all of a sudden. God's like, hey, how you doing? Like, I create. That's what I do. I don't know. But God, yeah, I mean, he wouldn't make this out of, like, what else would he make everything out of? And most importantly, it says right in the Bible that God created man in his own image. He made a mini-me.
In other words, he's a narcissist.
Right. Okay. Thanks for proving my point, Cruz. What did you think of this compared to other Aronofsky films?
You know, honestly, Black Swan was my favorite for the longest time, and now I kind of feel like this might be my number one on that list.
This might be. You
know
know what?
Right? Do you
The
agree
Wrestler
with
was
me on
always
that?
my favorite, but like, you know, just because obvious reasons. I like wrestling.
Yeah,
and Mickey Rourke kills it. in
They're a
that
little
movie.
biased in that regard. Right?
Yeah, but I mean, this movie was really unlike anything he's ever done before. Like, I haven't been this uncomfortable with an Aronofsky film since Requiem for a Dream.
I agree with that statement.
And Requiem for a Dream only had glimmers of this uncomfortableness. Like, this movie, the entire movie, you're infuriated. You're just stressed out, you know?
Yeah.
But here's the brilliant thing about the writing and the direction of this movie, is this whole premise is like a thread away from becoming a comedy.
Okay, so wait.
Like, I'll pitch you on this, ready?
Explain this to me. The comic,
Couple,
Okay.
right, wants to be alone in the wilderness.
Okay.
Guy has to write a poem.
Okay.
People keep interrupting this process.
Okay.
Okay? Woman gets more and more infuriated,
Okay.
Finally, woman destroys everybody. That's funny.
Okay.
Like, it's fun. There are premises where, like, even I was kind of chuckling, like, oh my god, this is, like, crazy that this is still going on. Like, when all the people show up for the funeral.
Yeah, because it does kind
That's funny.
I guess it does kind of get to a point where it's almost kind of borderline ridiculous. Like, at first, in the beginning, it was like a slow, gradual build-up from, like, oh, everything's normal,
right,
to, okay, wait, now I'm curious, what's going on here? You're like, okay, all right, that's weird. And then it just gets weirder and progressively weirder and weirder, right, to the point where we're like, okay, this is just
And I think
ridiculous.
That's why it had to be shot from mostly her point of view. Because if you shot that from a third-person point of view, looking in, it's funny. But when you're watching it from hers, and there's no music in this entire movie, so everything you hear every footstep, you hear every laugh, you hear every glass clink, you hear people breaking shit.
It's like
you hear everything, and it's infuriating to be that woman in that house who just wants to remodel this home, and it's being destroyed by strangers. And he doesn't give a fuck.
I actually remember the scene that really made me like start to get angry. It was when she told that couple to get off the sink. Because she already asked. She asked somebody else to get off the thing nicely. She was like, "Oh, can you?" Because she's being nice at first. Because she gets angrier and angrier, progressively as the movie goes on. But at first she's like, "Can you please not sit on there? It's not like it's not ready to be whatever." And then they get off, and then later on she sees a couple, and then they're like, oh, fuck this bitch, we're gonna sit on it anyways. And then finally they start hopping up and down. That was the scene where I turned and looked at you, and I was like, I want to punch somebody.
You were so angry during
And then I
was watching your face.
Angry the entire time. I was like sitting in my seat like,
you were so
agitated. Oh my god!
Yeah, I kept looking over at you, and I was like, this.
Did you know that this is like the 4th film that he shot on 16mm?
I did notice that, but I did notice it was like super grainy.
It's super grainy,
which I thought was cool. I like that kind of work.
I liked the cinematography.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the cinematography?
Yeah, cinematographer Matthew Levitique. Mm-hmm. He's done every Aronofsky film since Pi, except for The Wrestler.
Since Pi, Pi was his first. Okay, so he did every single Darren.
He did The Fountain. He did Noah, Requiem for a Dream, Black Swan. He did everything.
Oh wow!
But I feel like this was shot so different than any other Aronofsky film.
Definitely.
Like, it was just extreme close-ups the
entire time. It was extreme close-ups, and I think that's honestly, I'm pretty sure that's the reason why it was so intense, like extra intense, because you're sitting there and you're like, Jesus Christ, especially on the big screen in the theater, and you're like, oh, up close in the face, and you're just like, oh my god.
Like, it was Jennifer Lawrence's cheek for 2 hours.
Yeah.
She's got great cheeks, by the way. Great cheeks. But no, the weird thing is, too, I'm a big fan of Aronofsky's film scores. Requiem for a Dream.
The music is great.
Is amazing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, the Fountain, is, whatever it is, but that score is stunning. Mm-hmm. The Wrestler had a great score. Black Swan, obviously, you got Tchotchke and, different things.
Yep.
But to use no music at all.
Actually, I noticed that with this film, is that the entire time, and then again, that's part of how...
You feel everything.
And what's interesting, too, from everything that I've read from the director's point of view, from Aronofsky's point of view, he knew that it was going to be intense for people almost. Like, he knew. In fact,
he made it intense. He made you uncomfortable.
Yeah, he knew it was going to make you uncomfortable. And I think part of that, aside from, like, the super close-up shots, there's no music. And you can hear everything. And that's part of the reason why you can hear everything. Every sound, every pin drop, every door creak.
When she holds her hand against the house to see how the house is surviving.
Okay, I have to ask you, what do you think that meant in the film with her? Whenever
that's the life of the earth.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think it was because she was already pregnant? I mean, when I guess technically she's not the Virgin Mary, and therefore, she...
No, that's her. That's like her check-in. That's like the gauge for how the earth is doing. If there's still life. Because at the end, what happens?
Right. I mean, every time they showed that shot, it just kept getting ashier and ashier until it finally...
It kept like, what's it called? Like, ashing, I guess. I don't know.
Ashing?
Ashing
burning?
Is the word. Not burning, but like you said, it froze in ash.
Yeah.
So it was like iced ash.
No.
I don't know.
No.
But I love this movie. I really did. I've already seen it twice.
Yeah, you've seen it twice. I've seen it once. I would totally go see it again, but I would definitely have to be, okay.
Yeah, I have to have nothing else going on.
And which is really funny because I always say that I've said this before on this podcast how if you're gonna see Requiem, you should definitely not see that film.
Yeah.
This movie is definitely not for everybody.
Don't have any plans after this movie.
Not for everybody. I honestly feel like if you're someone that suffers from anxiety, you should probably not bother seeing this film. So far, I know
I
I've
agree.
heard of people that suffer from anxiety that saw it, and they like. If you thought that we were both infuriated from watching the film, the people that I know of that saw it that suffers from anxiety, they were like, "Woo!" Like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you dragged me to go see this movie." You know what I mean? But so obviously,
What did you think of the performances?
I thought the performances were great. Okay, let's talk about Michelle Pfeiffer for a minute because
I love Michelle Pfeiffer.
I love Michelle
She
Pfeiffer.
looks great. She plays the best. Just like
She was very
ignorant
seductive.
bitch.
She was
Just
seductive,
ignorant,
but
though.
also ignorant. Yeah.
it was amazing. That's Eve
Yeah.
going into the
Well,
Garden of
because
Eden, eating the forbidden
Eve,
fruit.
I guess if you're gonna go in that route, yeah, Eve seduces Adam, temptation.
Right.
Yeah, because remember I guess because
And
she said
screws
don't
up the whole
go
world.
in here, and then she goes in there anyways later on, and then oopsies.
And then you get the Gleason brothers.
Yes.
They were phenomenal in the little bit role they had.
Mm-hmm.
But Ed Harris.
Oh yeah,
Ed Harris as Adam. He just comes off as like a real friend. And the funny thing is, like, I wouldn't have picked Ed Harris for that role.
Okay,
If you had to pick, like, for, like, Adam, thinking from that perspective, who would you have picked? I would have picked a younger, like, with them all together, but maybe that's, I don't know. Ed Harris was amazing in that movie.
Ed Harris was definitely amazing in that movie, but I'm trying to think of who else I could see in that role.
Would you recast anyone?
Here's the interesting part about you asking me that, because I'm not a huge J-Law fan, okay? Yes.
Okay.
Bring on the hate. No, I'm just
What's
kidding.
your favorite J-Law movie? Before this.
Oh, crap. Let's see.
Silver Linings?
I've never seen that film.
Oh my god. Well, then that's why you're not a J-Law fan, because you're probably basing it on mocking J, whatever the fuck it is.
Maybe I should see this movie and
You
I'll have a
should
different
probably
opinion.
see Silver Linings Playbook.
I've never really been a huge J-Law fan. Now, don't get me wrong. There are other
How about American
actresses that
Hustle?
I can't stand. I've never seen that one either.
Well, what J-Law movies did you see that you're like, I don't like her?
Well, it's not that I don't like her. I'm just not a fan.
Okay.
Because there are other actresses that I hate. This bitch right here. Okay. Anyways, if you want to talk about my hatred for an actress, I hate Anne Hathaway. J-Law, I'm not on
start
that.
with J-Law.
I'm not on that level with
What
J-Law.
have you seen on that J-Law film?
I think the only movies I've seen of hers is probably the Hunger Games.
Yeah, see, that's
films.
why. Those are terrible movies.
What else has she been in other than all the films
I
that you
just
just
mentioned
listed?
the two best.
But that's
American Hustle, Silver Linings Playbook, Joy.
it. Never saw it. I saw Passengers. That was the other.
So you've
J-Lo.
seen the shitty Jennifer Lawrence.
I guess I
she
need to
won
give.
an Oscar.
I guess I need to give her a chance by watching all these other films.
By
yeah,
watching her good movies? Yeah, I would say so.
I guess, yeah. But we were talking about.
That's like you saying Ben Affleck's a shitty guy and you've only seen Geely. Literally the same thing. Alright, well, who would you cast as God? Except Morgan Freeman.
Okay, so for God's role, Michael Fassbender.
You think Fassbender could be God?
Why not?
I don't know. I think he's more of an Adam. He's more of an Adam.
You think he's more of an Adam?
Fassbender.
Kind of guy?
Javier Bardem carries that weight and that kind of like powerful ignorance.
I guess I
almost.
could see
And-
Michael Fassbender as Adam. Ed Harris's role, for those that
What
are
about Mickey
watching.
Rourke as God?
Whoa. Mickey Rourke
What
as
if,
God.
what if he brought he's like, listen, Mick, I'm doing this movie. You're gonna play God. No?
No.
Tom Cruise is God.
Sorry.
Hugh Jackman.
Okay, Hugh Jackman's
Hugh
at least
Jackman-
taller than Tom Cruise, and he's got to have that
Why
presence.
does God have to be tall?
Because he has to have that presence. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
feel
that's
like
true.
I feel like
Javier Bardem was perfect
I
for
feel
this,
like
actually.
J-Law is taller than Tom Cruise, and that would just be weird.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Did you like J-Law as the lead?
Oh, so that's what I was getting ready to say. Because although I haven't seen much of her work. Okay, I actually liked her in that role. She had
Really?
an innocence to her. She had a very innocence to her that I think was necessary for that character.
Yeah, she really did have this whole very maternal feel to her.
Maternal feel, she was always
She was
like,
always barefoot. Did you notice that? She was always,
Yeah, she was always barefoot. And I'm like, wait, is this a Tarantino film now?
I
What's
can't
going
get
on here?
into the barefoot thing. Like, I just think that's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
All right, so what would you rate this movie?
Okay, so let's look back at the ratings from the critics first, right? We have 68% on Rotten Tomatoes. We have 6.8 on IMDb.
Right.
My personal rating, I would give it a 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Yeah.
This isn't fucking Casablanca. I would give it a 4 out of 5.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a perfect film 5 stars means perfect. You're really gonna go 5?
Okay, you know what? You're right.
This
You're
is our
right.
third review.
Okay,
You're gonna give 5?
Okay, wait. You know what? You're right. You're right. Actually, to be fair, yeah, I think I wouldn't exactly call this film perfect.
Okay.
So I will give
What
it.
were your qualms with the film?
My qualms with the film.
Besides not understanding it. Not knowing what it's about.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
So, okay, that half point that you just took off, where did that come from?
Where did that half point?
I'll tell you,
from?
my only qualm with the film was it got so ridiculous at the
Well,
end. It got overtly
that's
ridiculous.
obvious. And I already said that already.
How is that obvious? You just said it was a perfect movie.
I didn't say it was perfect. I said, okay, you're right. It's not
This
perfect.
is from someone who gets their ratings on IMDb.
No.
So,
What did I just say 2 seconds ago? I said, okay, you're right. It's not perfect, so I'm going to give it a 4.5.
After I
Because
called
a
you
5
out for giving it a 5.
Yeah, because I realized, okay,
You
definitely.
didn't realize it. I realized it.
And
for you.
I'm agreeing with you.
Anyways,
Jesus Christ.
So 4.5.
No, I'm giving it a 4.5 because I liked it a lot. But yeah, that half point does I like how the beginning made more sense, but then when it got to the point where it was like extremely ridiculous, that's where I think they could have toned it down a little bit.
Okay.
I think Aronofsky could have toned that down a little bit. It was a little extreme, but despite that, I still enjoyed the film. So 4.5.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's that half point that. From that chunk.
4.5. So what's next on our agenda here?
There's a lot of other horror films coming
I
out,
know.
Steven.
I'm well aware of these horror
Well,
films.
let's think here. We've got Flatliners, the remake coming out. We've got Gerald's Game, a Netflix film.
Friend Request.
Friend Request. That's probably going to be ridiculous. I'm probably going to hate it, but we'll see.
I don't see. This is exactly the kind of movie I don't want to see. Is this Friend
I'm
Request?
not
movie.
into that. The Friend Request.
That's
film,
all going to be jump scares.
That's the kind of horror film that I'm not into. Mind you, I'm a huge horror fiend, as I like to call myself. But seeing the trailer, I'll see it just to see it. But I don't think I'm gonna like it. Oh, The Snowman.
When's The Snowman come out?
That comes out in October, like
Yeah,
closer to Halloween.
And we got Blade Runner coming. There's so many good movies coming out
right
now.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, this has been our review.
So, after having seen it, and that movie is doing amazing right now, really do hope that Mother, gets better in the box office, because right now it's not doing too hot.
I think with award season coming up, I think that there might be a couple of Academy members that have the balls to give this movie the recognition it rightfully deserves.
Right.
So I think that will help the box office. That's what helped Black Swan.
Yeah.
That's what made
point.
Black
That's
Swan
a good point. That's a good
go
point.
from a limited release to an extended release. So I think that's going to help. But yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, right on. Well, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Please be sure to subscribe, like, comment, whatever. Keepit88.com is our YouTube channel. And, of course, you can check us out at advancedcruisecontrol.com. I'm Annie Cruz.
And I'm Steve Vance. Keep it 88.